Guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I am so excited because I am bringing you some gingerbread inspired Christmas DIYs. I will be using these in my kitchen decor, because I have my kitchen all decked out with gingerbread stuff, but then I realized that I really didn't have too many signs or little signs or big signs or anything like that. So I will be making 3 different signs. One to go on the wall, one to go above my hood, and then just one little one. Most of them are kind of trash treasure, Dollar Tree supplies, mixture of both. So without further ado, let's get started. For the very first DIY, this is one of the signs, the long signs from Dollar Tree, and I had upcycled it several times. And I cut off the bottom layer. You can see how there were like 3 stripes, 3 sections, and I cut off the bottom section, and then I'm just trimming it to the size that would fit above my hood, which I think was 14 inches. And once I had trimmed it just using an X-Acto knife, I trimmed the little bits that were left over with just some shears, and then I just sanded it down just to smooth the edges out. Once that was done, I gave it a layer of white paint. Now I just wanted a little bit of white paint on there. Really only needed it for the edges, but I decided just to cover the whole thing, so it was very light coat. I did flip it over because I did not want it the little groove for it to have the little groove, and the one side did have that groove, so I just flipped it over and painted the other side. And then I went ahead and painted red, kind of creating a bit of a design, almost like a sign on top of the white. And I'm using the flag red acrylic paint in Apple Barrel, I think it's the brand. So I traced it out first with a thinner brush, then I filled it in with a thicker brush, and then I smoothed the edges out with my water-based red paint. And I think this just gave the edges a little bit of a smoother look, and then I cleaned it up with more white paint, just if any of the red paint got anywhere. And then I gave it a good sanding. I think this step made this sign gave it that antique look, but I did give it a really good sanding, even bringing out some of that brown paper look underneath. Then I went over to my Cricut machine and I had typed out Gingerbread Street using a BFC Christmas card font, and then I just cut that out. And I would also like to mention that today's video is part of a challenge that I am hosting. And we are doing Christmas DIYs, so there will be a playlist down below for you to check out once you are finished watching my video. And I'm using white Cricut vinyl as well as a dollar store shelf liner as a transfer tape. I have been enjoying using my Cricut lately. Just so many different options. But if you don't have a Cricut, you could have just written this out yourself. I just love the way the sign turned out, and I can't wait to see how it's going to look on top of my hood. For next trash to treasure, this one is not actual trash. This is a thrift flip. I picked 2 of these up. I already used one at a thrift store a while back. They are just mini cutting boards, but I think they were more meant for like a cheese board. but they had a really yucky, shiny coating on it that I did not like. So I painted mine white, but a really light coat of white. I wasn't looking for a full coverage because I'm going to be Mod Podging a gingerbread recipe, and I actually have this as a free printable. I will leave the link down below. It is over on my blog that you can download if you would like to use it yourself. So I'm a little bit bummed about this project because once I was done Mod Podging the little recipe onto the board, I did end up painting some of that white that was left over with a little bit of brown, kind of blending the white and brown in, and then adding brown to the edges of the recipe as well, just to make it look a little bit rustic and to kind of cover up the transition between the wood and the paper. But I cannot find the footage because my regular camera died, so I was using my different camera and I have no idea what happened to that footage. So you will not see me painting it brown or adding the second layer of Mod Podge on it, which I did. But nevertheless, here is the finished product, and I absolutely love the way it turned out. I think it's going to look cute as a sign on a tiered tray or just on its own. Well, I sure hope you are getting tons of inspiration for gingerbread DIYs. I hope you're enjoying this video so far. If you are, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you're brand new, stopping by for the very first time and have decided to press that subscribe button, or if you didn't, that's okay. Leave me down a comment. Let me know who you are, you know, what you like, what's, you know, kind of get to know you down below in the comments, and we'll keep crafting. The last project that I'm working on, it has to be my favorite out of the three. I had this scrap piece of wood laying around, so I decided to use it up. I gave it a bit of sanding, more or less just to get the cobwebs off of it because there were a ton. And then I will be using that same flag red that I've been using. But before I painted, I went ahead and taped off an edge about a centimeter. I was actually using my nail as a guide on the edges, and this will create a border. I like doing this sometimes if I don't have extra wood to add to the top to create that border. This is a great way to kind of doing this. It looks like a border, but it's not really a border type of thing. It looks like there's an extra wood over top of it, but there really isn't. It just creates that border look. And then I went ahead and I painted one coat of that red paint. Now that paint, I wanted some of that wood grain to show through, so the coat, I didn't want to put more than one coat on. As soon as I was done painting, I removed the tape off. That way it doesn't create any dryness in case if there was a bulb of paint anywhere, a blob of paint anywhere, I won't be ripping it off. So you always want to remove your tape while your paint is still wet. Once I was all done, I ended up giving this board a nice just light sanding. This just smoothed everything out. Then I went ahead over to my Cricut machine and I had cut out an image. I have actually purchased this image off of Etsy. I could have made it myself. This just saved me a ton of time, and it was, I think, under $3. So I ended up did adjust it because the image was more square and I needed it to be more rectangular, so I moved a couple things around just so it would fit more better onto my board. And then I used my vinyl that I have, the white one, and as well as the dollar store transfer tape to transfer it on. I think Etsy is a great place to get some of these images on because they have such a great variety of SVGs on there. I also have an Etsy shop as well that I have included just a few SVG files that I have made myself on there if you want to check them out. I always struggle a little bit. I struggle with weeding out small items, which I did lose some letters here. I end up going back and cutting it out separately on the Cricut and adding it separately from this image. But when you are transferring the image to any surface, I was trying to make sure that there was equal amounts on each side of red left or empty no image space left. So I just end up using a measuring tape to figure that out, so that way the image is where I want it to be and kind of centered. I think this white vinyl against this red looks so good, and the red paint on top of this board, it just darkened it up and it gave it that, in my opinion, a vintage look, that red vintage paint look, which I absolutely love. I can't wait to use this sign over in my dinette area. Hopefully I can hang it up where my sign is now, where I have a picture now, and to replace it for Christmas. So I hope you had enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me down a comment. I would appreciate it so much. I love reading all the comments, responding to them, chatting with you guys. And if you are stopping by for the very first time, I would really love it if you considered subscribing and becoming part of my DIY YouTube community. So until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day. And thank you all so much for watching. Bye.